back to This Is It podcast. My name is Devin. I'm here joined with Brad, and today we have somebody very special in the studio, the icon himself, Dada, Dorren Pierre.
Yo, what's good, man?
How we doing, man?
I'm feeling good. Just got off that stage. So
I know, you killed your
good.
set.
Yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate that.
Yeah, no
Appreciate
problem.
that.
Facts, man. Definitely, we got a lot of Dada vibes. We got white girls out there going boop, 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 boop. Good vibes all
We
around,
did.
man.
We did.
Good vibes all around, man.
Oh, yeah, man. Appreciate that, man. I'm glad y'all enjoyed it, man.
It was a great show, man. You always put on a great show every time we see you. So I'm just happy you delivered just as equally as you always do.
Yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Especially being out here at the Big E, it's just good to see good talent getting it to where they need to be.
Word, man. Appreciate that, man. You know, the rain was kind of messing up my vibe a little bit
Nah,
earlier.
but you came prepared, man. You came through looking fresh. Got the, got the yellow jean jacket. Got the yellow jeans on with the Clarks, of course.
Always
Gotta stay with the Clarks.
Gotta stay with the Clarks, man.
Listen, man. Listen, rain, shine.
Yeah, top boy before the top boy.
Exactly.
No, I'm just joking.
Said that she ain't get at me. Damn, bro, that's dope as hell though. But we got you in here, man. We've spoken to you before during our after the encore series. A little bit of like a brief rundown, but at this time, what we want to do is we want to really get into who you are, how you got to the place where you are right now, and all that other stuff. But before we get into all that other stuff, we just want to know where you're from and what it was like for you growing up out there.
Man, I'm from Springfield, Mass. You know, east of here.
All right.
East of West Springfield, you know what I mean? But nah, I'm from Springfield, Mass, man, and yeah, that's where I was born and raised. I got a lot of Jamaican culture. I used to like go to Jamaica a lot when I was younger, probably like twice a year because I'm half Jamaican. So I'm kind of from like, you know, the island and the snow. You know what I mean?
So where were you spending your time at when you was going back to Jamaica? Where you spending most of your time at?
Buff Bay. So my family's from Buff Bay, Portland, Antonio, countryside. So
all right, man. So my grandfather's side come from Port Antonio.
Yeah,
Shout out to them in mad country.
Yeah,
my mom's St. Elizabeth, mad loud.
Yeah, exactly.
Pig yelling.
Yeah, for real. Facts. No lies. So it's just mad country out there, man. You know, you still see like goats getting slaughtered and
pigs getting sold. I told you, like my grandparents have not my grandparents, but my mom's family, like they got a farm out there. Like you, Dorren will probably be able to attest to it. Like farms are like it's a farm. Like it's not like it's not old McDonald, but you go out, there's goats. You hear roosters in the morning.
Yeah, 5 a.m. waking you up. Like wow,
it smells, bro. Like wow. Hadley, we know stranger to like the Hadley like type of environment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
Damn, man.
I like it. So I want to talk about your music background. When did you get into music, and what was that like? Who like impressed that on you?
All right, so I feel like I just come from like a very musical like home. Like my dad would wake up at like 4 a.m. and we would wake up to him like just singing like whatever came to his mind. Like that's how we woke up. He had mad breakfast and was always singing. I feel like obviously like Michael Jackson is like, I feel like every person like wanted to be Michael Jackson at some point in their life. So like that's a big influence. But I guess like what really got me into rapping is like I'm a huge Kanye fan, huge Jay-Z fan, huge Cudi fan, but like listening to Big Sean is like really what like influenced me, like made me want to rap, because it was like kind of like the first time you really got to see artists like it's like the beginning of social media, so they were starting to broadcast themselves all the time, like Wiz with Kush and OJ, and then Big Sean with the Finally Famous series, and he just made it seem so possible that like you can rap and like get on, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like so it was just like he was a huge influence to how I like started rapping. Like that's what made me rap, listening to him.
Yeah, so paying attention to obviously Kid Cudi, Kanye, and Big Sean, you've been probably paying a lot more attention to like good music and what they've been doing lately.
Absolutely.
Too. A question that I have for you, really, that goes for pretty much most artists in your situation, because I know Sean has went through his kind of growing pains during that time. For you, when does an artist kind of make their way out of that up and coming stage and get to that point where they can say, all right, I'm not so much an established artist, but an artist that I can make my way through this?
Well, for me, I think it's just more like I kind of always try to stay in that up and coming mode, just because like those are kind of like the people I look up in the music industry, kind of just like I feel like they're always on that like trying to stay up and coming. Like if you hear Kanye, like every album sounds different from his last album, so he's always trying to stay hungry to push the envelope. And when you're trying to come up with a new sound, like that's literally up and coming. Like you're trying to get that new sound out, and so I kind of just stay. I haven't accomplished anything. You know what I mean? Like I'm grateful for the opportunities that have presented themselves in front of me, but like to me, I'm just like, this is like not even like 1%. This is no percent. This is I'm just having fun, but I'm trying to elevate to way bigger heights and like a brighter future. So
yeah, definitely feel that. Continuing back off to that point that you were making about staying in that up and coming mindset, you put out projects. And they're solid projects. Like during your performance, a lot of those songs, even if you didn't know the words, the exact words to the song like that, it didn't matter because the vibe right there was set. So it was infectious. Like literally, you had white girls in the crowd screaming, "Boop, boop, boop." Like, like for people who do not understand that whatever culture you're from, that's very specific to your culture. Think of another culture that's the exact opposite doing the same thing.
Right.
It's unheard of. So to see an artist like such as yourself be able to accomplish that at such a very early stage in your career is really impressive. A question I got for you is like, I remember we went over it before after the encore, but I kind of want to go a little bit more in depth into this. How do you create the kind of music that you create?
I guess I create the kind of music I create. Like, all right, so for like the past 3 years, I haven't written anything, you know what I mean? I just kind of just been vibing, and I feel like I just try to draw from places in my life, like from things that are super personal to me to things that are super personal with my friends. It's kind of like my friends shouldn't tell me shit because like I kind of always end up putting their stories in my songs, and like one of my friends were just like, yo, I know you talking about me. Like I felt that on a whole different vibe. Like I know that you talking about me. And so like I just pull from life, man. Like whatever's going on around me, like in my years on this earth, I feel like I've been through a lot for my situation, you know what I mean? Maybe for someone else's situation it isn't a lot, but for my situation I've been through some tough times, and it's just like sometimes you just gotta go into some dark places to like bring light to situations, you know what I mean? So
yeah, I remember one of those joints, like you got up and you literally said, yo, that one hit me. That one hit me. What song was that one?
Oh, that song is called Apple Ginger Tea, and it's actually a song from like an album that I have that I haven't released yet, but it's called Therapy. It's like that song, man, it means a lot to me just because like I give you like the background of it is like I was dating this girl, she became my ex, and then I started dating this other girl, and it's like me and my ex were still kind of close, so it was just like
I remember the bridge in that joint was like, I know you better than I know myself.
Yeah,
you don't say that to any chick, man.
Exactly.
Like, if anyone can relate to this, it's not every person you come across that you can have that type of connection with.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I ain't gonna hold you. I kind of felt
man,
my chest too.
It hit me. I'm like, damn, yo, like, you know what I mean? I'm out here speaking, and then like, you know, one of the shorties are in the crowd, and another shorty is just, you know what I mean? So it's just like, I'm like low key snitching on myself. But it's cool though, cause I'm the Don Dada, so it's straight, man. I mean, whatever. But nah, it was just like, it's just one of those songs that kind of hit me, and it's just like that. Both those relationships were like super personal to me, so it was like it meant a lot. And when I wrote that song, I don't know. I don't know why I called it Apple Ginger Tea. It was just like
that's because it feels like that's how I remember, man. That's
fact.
Mad Jamaican. A quick question I got for you is, what's your favorite subject matter to talk about?
I mean,
because if you like to talk about Apple Ginger Tea, man, you a whole different dude, man.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I mean, my favorite songs, like if I could sing, like my favorite genre of music is like 90s R&B music.
Oh, I see.
So like, and like, just like the 90s music in general is just like, it's a vibe, bro, from the reggae to the R&B to the hip hop. And so like, I can't really sing like that. I kind of make it sound good, you know what I mean? But like,
shout out to the engineer, man.
Yeah, right. Right now. So it's like, I would say like, I don't know. I got so caught. You made me laugh, man. I kind of got the
But like you were going on like 90s R&B in particular, because everyone goes back to the 90s as an era. Because I think, let's think about it right now, like the 2010s, right? The way we look at, because we about to be 2020 next. Goddamn, we old.
Yeah,
but,
come on, I don't want to.
But think about the early 2000s, like for example, Kanye. Look at what 808 and Heartbreak. Was that 2010?
Yeah.
When? What?
2008. Oh, I'm a little too far behind.
We have our resident.
Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. That was probably
2011.
11.
So that's the beginning of the decade, and the ending now. We won't use Kanye, but let's say for the sound, beginning with the Kanye to the ending what it is now, we got, let's say, what's your brother's latest? Or Drake. Drake's a really
is
good
like,
example.
You know what I mean? He's the sound.
He's the sound now. So with the 90s, it's been, I wouldn't say it sounded the same all throughout, because think of like Mos Def in 99 and think of Ice Cube in 92. Like those totally different sounds. But the feeling that the 90s has, especially for our age group too, because I was born in 96.
Yeah.
Dev, you were born in 95, right?
Yeah, 95.
What year you born, Dorren?
I don't speak on that.
You don't speak? All right, we don't
18
speak.
and up.
18 and up.
You know what I mean? I'm 18 and up,
18 and up. So, but we all understand what that vibe was. Because even though we were born in it and not necessarily grew up in it, that was something that was super, super influential in our lives growing up. Who are your favorite artists coming out of that era, since it was so influential for you?
In the 90s?
Yeah.
Jay-Z. Like, Jay-Z is that dude. Like, he's like, he's the GOAT. You know what I mean? It's like literally he gives you the blueprint to be successful. Like, so like, yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, no, seriously, that's what the whole blueprint is. You know what I mean? It's just like, he's like the last hustler left. You know what I mean? So he's so important to like me in my life. That's my brother listened to Jay-Z and Pac, you know what I mean? And DMX. X is dope.
Shout out to X.
I do want to ask you this though, as being one of the prominent members in the creative scene in the Western Mass area, what do you think needs to happen in order to make this a self-sustaining industry around here?
Unity, you know what I mean? I feel like we all have similar dreams and similar aspirations, but we're all segregated. So we kind of just like separate ourselves from everyone. I think it's, I think that's really it. Unity, man.
Why do you think everybody separates themselves?
I feel like everybody separates themselves because we're all human and we all have egos, bro. Like that's everybody. It's not an ego in a bad way, but everybody wants to be the first to make it. Like who doesn't want to be there? You know what I mean? Everybody wants to be the first to make it, and sometimes you gotta kill your pride. But to kill your pride is not to say like you gotta kill your pride, but sometimes you gotta step back and like when you gotta just notice opportunity. Like when someone else has the moment, you gotta join the moment. You know what I mean? You can't stray away from that because now that's dampening his light or her light, and then now you have a shade over you. So it's just like I don't think it's in a negative way. I don't think people have an ego in a negative way. I think that's just how mankind is, you know what I mean?
It can get to a point where specifically with artists, because so much time and energy is spent into going into your craft, that it's almost like, I guess like an analogy to kind of think of it is like, you know, when you're in the airplane, they say if the mask come down, put it over yourself before you try to help out anyone else. I think that's kind of what the stage everyone else is kind of in. I remember during a group discussion episode, everyone was kind of saying like, alluding to that fact that it's on paper, we can say, yes, we got to help everyone. And I remember the beginning of that episode, that's pretty much like the podcast is kind of foray into what the scene was. And now here we are coming towards the end of it. We have a better grasp of what it is. I don't think it's necessarily everyone not wanting to help each other. I think it's just everyone is really got to get everyone out. They got to get themselves established before they can help anyone else out. So I think what it turns into, it's not definitely not an end-all solution. I agree with Dorren. It's like if someone has a moment, support that moment. Don't take away from it, because it doesn't take away from yourself. I think what it ends up becoming is it has to be someone where the talent is so large, even people outside the New England area notice it, and the person has a willingness or even a desire to help uplift others within that same community.
Right.
So you can't, like Dorren, I get what you're saying. Like you can't fault people for not really.
I'm not saying that. What I am saying though is like there's a tremendous amount of talent in this area, and I'd like to think that if somebody gets out, then they could help give back to everybody else, because you know we all know each other. We're all working for the same goal. There's enough seats at the table for everybody. I would like to see somebody make it and then come back and try to help out as well.
That's
and I'd like to see that, and I'd like to think that they would do that. But I just hope, one could hope, you know what I mean?
I think it's just more like, you know, people mean well, bro. Like people, but at the end of the day, like what people don't understand is like everyone's going through things. So like I can hit you up right now, you know what I mean? Be like, yo, let's do this. But yo, there could be like a tragedy going on in your family. You may not be up for it right now. But maybe you don't hit me back, and then I start to feel like, oh man, these people curved me, and like, nah, I'm thinking, and I think as artists, we're all overthinkers, and I think that's what like makes us, but that's also what breaks us too, because we're super sensitive. Like I'm super sensitive to my craft, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that then makes me super sensitive to life in general. So
Do you ever get scared, or not scared, but maybe hesitant about putting out certain songs or releasing certain like albums or anything? Because like for me, for an example, certain things that I release, whether it's the book or whatever, I was super hesitant about that because I worked so hard on it. I put so much time, I put so much of myself into it that I don't think I was mentally ready to hear the backlash of it.
I mean, he would tell you, like, I got songs from like 2006 that if I put out right now, like, you'd be like, it's still current today. Like, you'd be like, wow, this was kind of like ahead. But I think I don't ever get scared. I just overthink, and then I make so many songs. So it's just like I kind of like forget about that song after I listen to it like 100,000 times. I'm listening to the next song that I just made the next day, and so I think I don't know. Maybe there's a little bit of like fear that like people won't accept it, or like people, you know what I mean? That the fear of the unknown, but like yeah. So I could agree with that. What you're saying.
I mean, like speaking from like my perspective, because I'm a visual artist. Because when Devin asked that question, the first time he asked it, the way I reacted to it was kind of like it's oversimplifying the emotions an artist goes through to create something. Because like specifically, like for example, writing a book, like it's words right there. Unless it's like something that's like poetry or something of the sort. Usually, what you write is usually what you mean, and there's not too much room for misinterpretation in that sense. With music in particular, it's poetry pretty much. So with music, I feel like it's something where if we were to put in a pie chart, it might be 8% fear, and then it might be just other things of like, all right, since you know your craft so well, it's like, I don't like the mixing on this one, or shit, I wish I could go back and relay these vocals, or like, you know, like you say yourself, like shit, I could have hit that note way better or something like this. So it's it for artists in particular, I know like artists of Dorren's caliber, it's not necessarily a fear of backlash. It's almost like literally looking at the piece of work that you made and going, oh, I could have did this so much better. It's a perfectionist mindset, because that's what you have to have in order to succeed in this industry. Dorren, for you, because I know you definitely probably go through this, like, fuck, I can go this. How do you get yourself out of that? How do you get yourself to a point where it's like, fuck it, I gotta put it out?
I start feeling like, I get like, I'm unable to make songs, and that's when I know I need to put things out. You know what I mean? Because I need a reaction. I need to hear how other people feel about this and how it touched them. And maybe if only 30 people listen to it, that's enough, because I got 30 different opinions. So it's like now I know what they feel like, and now I can go on to the next emotion. And sometimes when you're venting, that's what I do in my music. I vent. And you're venting, but it's literally a venting process to myself, or to like the 3 people who hear it, you know what I mean, if I show my friends. And then it's like, but if you're only venting to yourself, you really can't help yourself, you know what I mean? So when you release it, it's kind of like a ventilation process for everyone else, and now everybody else has an opinion on it, or they can help you. They can tell you like, oh, this song hit me here and it meant a lot to me, or like whatever their opinion is, but it helps me get out of that funk to like, I can create, and then I can release music. So just like releasing music kind of gets me out of the funk of like not releasing music, if that makes sense.
No, that totally makes sense. It's like almost like a vicious cycle. Like you like, fuck it, I gotta hit the escape hatch. So what can we expect for you in the future? We just saw you perform, killed that performance. You alluded to an album that you got coming.
So I got an album called Therapy. The album's been done for a few, but you know what I mean, it's coming. And then I got another project called Trouble in Paradise. It's a little EP. I just got more music coming out. I'm gonna put out a couple more singles, and just get people, hyped, and build some excitement around whatever project I decide dropping first. Definitely want to put out some more visuals and do more shows. Like I got the A Boogie show coming up that I'm opening up for him, so that's coming October 18th. Oh yeah, and I'm going out to Atlanta for the A3C festival as well to perform out there as well.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
That's dope, man.
Yeah, man, good drop.
Yeah,
I forgot all about that.
I saw, man. That's a good marriage right there, man.
Yeah.
Real quick, I do want to say this though. Thank you for stopping by.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, that means a lot. Just seeing somebody from where we come from, both here at the same time. We're both doing our own crafts.
Yeah.
It's super inspiring. You inspire us all the time whenever we see you like killing it. So I just want to say thank you for stopping by and keep doing what you're doing, man.
Nah, for sure, man. Thank you for having me, man. You guys inspire me. Like this, y'all been working OT, man. Like I would love to like do what I'm passionate about in my craft every day, like on this platform. You know what I mean? So it's inspiring for me. I'm glad that you guys want to, you know, take up some of your time to talk to me, man. I appreciate that, man.
We're always down to talk to you,
Always,
man.
bro.
It's always good conversation whenever we link.
Doors open, though. Doors always open.
Real quick, final two questions is where can everybody find you on social media?
Everybody can find me at Dorren Pierre. That's at DORREN PIERRE. You can find me on all social media, all music platforms, all streaming platforms, like at Dorren Pierre. Yeah. So.
And the final question we have for you is, what is your definition of success?
So I gotta think about this answer like last time.
Yeah,
you know what
take
I
your
mean?
time, man. Take your time.
I think my definition of success is just like making sure my family and my like close friends and all my loved ones are like straight. You know what I mean? Like just make sure everybody has good health and like their mental health is like super positive and not negative, because I feel like, you know, mental health is like a big thing in our like in this time. You know what I mean? A lot of people are going through like depression and like the world is super sensitive, and it's kind of like the program that they want for us. But I think I just want everybody to be happy and like just chase their dreams. Like you literally just like there's nothing else to do but to just chase the vision that you see in your head. Like, so if you see something and you want to chase it and you're working towards that every day, I think that's success right there. Like,
I knew my life would be lit.